Well, good afternoon, Grandmaster Khor. Thank you very much for talking with me today. Just as a bit of a background of why I wanted to speak to you is I was watching the Limitless program that Chris Hemsworth was involved in. And I noticed that you were there in the last episode talking about Tai Chi and aging. And I do believe from the background check I did on you that you've been looking at Tai Chi for many years. I'm not sure how many, but I'm sure you will tell me. And you've managed to write quite a few books on that area, in that area. Is that true?
Yes, I started the Australian Academy of Tai Chi back in 1976. And so that's a period of nearly 40 odd years teaching and researching Tai Chi.
Oh, that's very good. So really my question comes from the fact that I understand you're similar to me, like being in your 70s, and I'm approaching the late 70s. And I think we're both still reasonably fit and healthy. What do you attribute your good health to at the moment?
I think it's basically just keeping active and keeping interested in life. Curiosity. I've always been fascinated to learn new things. Keep an open mind, and and by being involved in practically whatever the interest, that interest one, and we just it's like there's always lots of things to look forward to.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. I was just wondering if it was purely due to your interest in Tai Chi, or did you do any other exercise before that? Because my life, what I attribute mine to is the fact that right through my life, I've always been very active. I did a lot of sailing and swimming when I was younger. And then when I started work, I used to walk the dog and run with the dog. And I've even got to the stage when I was in the mines rescue team. And that was quite a good fitness level that I spent quite a lot of time jogging and going to the gym. But of course, jogging didn't do my legs any good. So after I finished that, I actually took up cycle riding, which I still do. So I attribute a lot of my good health to being active through my life. So was yours purely in Tai Chi, or was it from somewhere else?
Yes, mainly nowadays through Tai Chi. But looking back, let's see. When I was young, I used to be involved in practically all sorts of activities. Just like any young boy, I was born in a small town and near a river. So, learned to swim in the river. And even though there were a couple of crocodiles in it, which at that age we didn't, sort of what we don't see, we don't think is not there. So I climbed trees. I play all sorts of games, in school, from table tennis, basketball, soccer, all sorts of things as a child, just enjoying sport. It was like enjoying life in a sense when you're young. Yeah. And so I suppose always being active in that sense, like any normal boy. And I developed this love of and enjoying. You get a lot of fun. It's the game. That's why we call it game, soccer game, table tennis game, and so forth. And in fact, basketball was my number one game. And that time, in Australia, I believe it's not very well known. That later, as I grew up, I started to get interested in Kung Fu. Or the other thing was that within the Chinese community, there is always Tai Chi. The older generation, would be practicing Tai Chi in the evening in the park. And so we see that all around us. And sometimes I even get put onto the shoulder of an uncle, or different people. And while they were doing Tai Chi, sort of, moving around, and get the sensation of that, just enjoying the right on the shoulder. So bit by bit, I picked up, those sort of movements. But it was martial art that caught my interest, so Kung Fu, I would call it. So the different style, and I saw people doing lion dance. So as a child, very fascinated. Of course, and that kept kept going until I reached a stage where I did very well in Kung Fu, because being quite athletic in my younger days, until I had a serious injury doing Kung Fu and practically smashed my knees in going too hard in the training. And that's when Tai Chi became more and more practical, that I could still move and stretch and practice the martial art within the traditional Tai Chi, have that in the self-defense aspects of Tai Chi in the movement. And now more and more as I age, being 75, and of course the body wears down and all the old injury, they start to really show up bad. And so it's one way of keeping everything at bay and continue to be able to function and stay healthy. So that's my story.
Oh, that's good, because you mentioned the injury you had with your knee. I've had a similar injury. Well, wasn't knee. I actually snapped my Achilles tendon. And this is only a few years back, only about 5 years ago. And I find now that I have trouble walking. I can't walk too far because my ankle plays up. That muscle on that side has just about disappeared where I snapped my Achilles tendon. I can still ride my bike all right. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. So do you recommend that I carry on with my Tai Chi? Do you think doing Tai Chi will help me recover from this?
Oh, definitely. Because the even the doctor, a medical practitioner would tell you that we're going to keep moving. If we look at logically, even the medicine that we take, whatever we take into the body, those nutrients or medicines still have to be circulated to the cells to heal them, to the organs, and so we need to transport them. So you got to have good blood circulation. So movement itself, will pump the blood, to circulate the blood, and the breathing, to stretching, So all activities will help to do that. In Tai Chi in particular, there are other elements which are not present in normal type of exercise or sport. In that, in Tai Chi, it's done very slowly, very precise. Because in the olden days, traditionally, all the movements are done very slowly, because it is to train up a particular technique, a particular angle, and also, the coordination of the stretch of different parts of the body, one pushing the other part of the body. And so that precision requires the mind to concentrate. And then also in Tai Chi, because the Tai Chi philosophy is based on relaxation. So we also learn to relax the body. The more you relax, the more you can feel. Because if we go rigid, we tense up, a lot of the sensation that we feel, is taken up by the tension. So the more we relax, the more we can feel. So we get to a stage where it is soft, but kind of firm in a sense. So halfway in between. And you can feel the tingling, the sensation in there. Now, with that, all that sensation are actually imprinted into our brain, into the cells. And also the movement that we make, different circuits are formed in our nervous system. So our wiring through the whole body, so we establish that. And from this conscious imprinting in the conscious brain, repeating it over and over again, gradually that will go into our subconscious. I can use an example like driving a car. When we first to drive a car, we have to consciously concentrate on steering wheel, how to move the steering wheel. And we got to look very carefully on where we want to go. We also got all the different, like it's taking all our concentration, and we become very tense with it. However, we do that day in, day out when we're driving, and over a period of time. So much so that we're so used to driving, we become very relaxed about driving. We can even put the music on. We can be, humming a song, sometimes even having a conversation while we're driving. And that's because what we consciously learn about the driving skill over the years, over the days, doing it, repeating it over and over again, that conscious technique are now imprinted into all our body cells and also in the correct sequence. And so that the body knows how to move in a coordinated manner. Let's say, for example, suddenly when let's say you're driving and a little boy rushed across the road. So suddenly to stop hitting the little boy, you slam on the brake, you take evasive action, you might even sound the horn. No. So you would do all those actions so fast that the brain actually hasn't got a chance to try to organize that. So it's an automatic reaction. But because the whole body has already been pre-programmed with all the information already embedded in there, the moment you say, I'm going to do this, danger, the whole body, everything coordinates. It's like the intelligence of the whole body take over. So in Tai Chi, in the same sense, that we do that slowly. Now, Bruce Lee is very well known for him being able to fight blindfolded. That is in the martial art called Wing Chun. Now, to do that, the start of Wing Chun, they do a kind of training, very slow, precise type of training, They call it the Siu Lim Tao. So this sort of slow movement, every angle very precise. So when a hand is thrusted out, it's going to be at the correct angle, center line, so that any punches that comes in will veer off. So but you're going to repeat that every day. You're going to train that for hours and for many days, many months, until at any time you stick out your hand, it's always in the correct angle and the correct force. Okay, so that's what Tai Chi, the benefits of that, it's not obvious to people watching from the outside. All you see from the outside is just a very gentle dancing movement.
Yeah, now I can understand what you're saying there about the mind-body connection with the slow movement and developing that without rushing. But the other thing that I would be interested in, though, is how does that look after your cardiovascular system? Because most of Western exercise, which I've been used to, of course, you get out and you make yourself breathe hard. So what about in Tai Chi? How does Tai Chi look after the cardiovascular system?
Well, the modern medical research has shown that if you were to perform Tai Chi for, let's say, 20 minutes nonstop, even at a moderate rate, you can achieve the same kind of aerobic fitness that is required to keep a body healthy. Okay, so that is just the basic requirement. Now, if you were to do Tai Chi from, let's say, a very deep and higher level, in that not only you satisfy that condition of 20 minutes of continuous non-stop moderate pace Tai Chi, however, in the deeper higher level of Tai Chi, we also require that your spine be upright. The whole body must be upright. That means to do so, your feet must press against the ground, the earth, and actually gently straighten up your whole your skeleton, and the skeletal frame are spread out. And then you're required to then relax the body, all the muscles, all the flesh, like a piece of cloth. Let it relax down. So here you have posture, perfectly upright, and yet totally relaxed. So there is no tension, but you maintain a kind of toning in there. And because you're perfectly upright, all your body weight, center of gravity, will go through your skeleton, especially your spine, right through down to the feet. And of course, every time that you move, every movement that you're making, you are stretching your muscles, and that helps to pump the blood. And from all the movement. Also, will also exercise the joints. Beyond the muscles, we also work on the tendons. Now, the tendons can only be stretched when the muscles are relaxed. So you relax the muscle and yet you keep on stretching, then you get to the tendons. Now, it's also interesting that it is discovered that to go long distance, like a kangaroo, that they use mostly tendon power, that muscles develop very fast, you can build up very fast, but also deteriorate very fast. And also over a long period of time, it's not sustained. But tendons will last forever in that sense. So we have, you can maintain that, plus a lot of other working in there, like the breathing, the concentration that we work into it, where we use to massage our lungs by altering the internal pressure. We call that the abdominal pressure in there. And it massage all our internal organs, the heart, the spleen, and so forth. And so there you are, that's where I suppose the immune system will then come in, because all the organs are being exercised at the same time as the external muscles, which fitness nowadays, mostly are concentrated on the beauty of the external, but not looking at the beauty of the inside.
Well, that's very good, because I suppose this is my last question, and I understand from what you're saying is that if I carry on, if I go and learn Tai Chi from a decent instructor, I'll get all these benefits. But you're already there. You're a grandmaster. What are you going to do for the rest of your life to look after yourself?
Number one, I enjoy myself, because now it's like when we're learning something, want to achieve something, it's pressure, it's work. You got to learn, like sitting for an exam, studying for an exam. But when you read just for leisure, just for fun, just for enjoyment, just for knowing that knowledge, that I got to know extra things, the satisfaction of that. And so, for example, when I practice my Tai Chi nowadays, I don't concentrate so much on having to do all those things, which I'm actually going to instruct someone who doesn't know that. Now I just relax into it and just almost like leisure Tai Chi. That's what we say. You play Tai Chi. You let go. You don't worry about the mistakes anymore, because once you have learned what are the things you need to do, you then hand it over to your unconscious or to your subconscious, that it will take care of yourself, just like driving. We don't worry when we get in the car, am I going to be driving very well today? We don't. You get in the car, they put on music, you think about, I'm going to go to a certain destination, I'm going to see someone, I'm going to a meeting, and I got a journey, so put on the music, you want to relax and enjoy the drive. So that's how my Tai Chi is now. Every morning, I know that if I don't stretch, the body is stiff. So I wake up every morning with the body of a 75-year-old, after a long period in bed. Sometimes you get the aches and the pain too, you feel stiff. So I do very easy, gentle stretch, just to get rid of, the stickiness in the body. And after a few stretch, the body wakes up, and then the brain also start to wake up, and gradually the incentive, the good feeling comes in, and I do a bit more and more, and then gradually it merges by itself, becomes a form of a coordinated movement, and then the Tai Chi movement comes in as I get more, as I get more and more into it. So that now it becomes a part of my life, of waking up, and and then the rest will kick in, because everything that you learn, when you walk, when you sit, every now and then you might start slopping down a bit, and then you realize, especially when you start to feel the muscle playing up, you sit up straight. So it's like that there is, once those principles that you learn become a part of you, and so in everything that I do, there's always this consciousness. So I suppose Tai Chi also put this awareness into us, awareness of, got to be always stay relaxed, stay upright, and keep things in balance, and that's it. And that's how Tai Chi, it can sort of serve me for the rest of my life.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time today. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and you've given me a lot of good ideas about what I should be doing. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Alex.
Okay.